Ladies and gentlemen, there's something poetic about being underestimated, isn't there? The whispers behind your back, the condescending smirks, the polite nods of dismissal. They think they've got you all figured out. A harmless sheep, weak, complacent, predictable. But oh, how they forget. The wolf doesn't howl until the moon is high. Tonight we talk about you, the one who walked among them, unnoticed, while the fire inside you grew hotter, sharper, deadlier. They didn't see the claws beneath the velvet gloves or the fangs behind the polite smile. And that's their mistake. You've been sharpening yourself in silence, waiting for the perfect moment to step forward and make the world see not all sheep are harmless. Let me ask you this, have you ever felt the weight of someone's doubt pressing on your shoulders? Like they've written the story of your life for you before you even spoke? If so, stay with me. Because by the end of this, you won't just walk out of here stronger, you'll roar out, unchained and untamed. You see, the art of being a wolf in sheep's clothing is not about deception. No, it's about control. You didn't wear the disguise because you were afraid. You wore it because it suited your plans. Because there's power in being overlooked. Power in the quiet, in the shadows, in the patience it takes to wait for the perfect strike. People love to judge by what they see on the surface. It's almost like a reflex snap, judgments made in seconds based on appearances, demeanor, or even just a single word spoken. They size you up, put you in a box, and slap a label on you without ever bothering to look deeper. Why? Because it's easier. It's safer. They don't want to think there's more to you than meets the eye. When people underestimate you, they give away their own weakness. They assume their perception is flawless, their judgment unquestionable. They laugh off your ideas, dismiss your presence, and fail to notice the depth behind your eyes. But what they don't realize is that being underestimated is a gift. They've handed you an advantage wrapped up in their arrogance. Underestimation isn't just an insult, it's an opportunity. While they're busy assuming you're ordinary, you're quietly building. While they laugh, you observe. While they talk, you listen. Each sneer, every smirk becomes fuel, quietly feeding the fire inside you. You become stronger, sharper, more determined. The beauty of being underestimated is that it gives you space. Space to grow, to plan, to become something far greater than they ever imagined. The greatest mistake they make is thinking they have you figured out. They think they've seen the whole picture when they've barely scratched the surface. But deep inside, you know they're wrong. Their blindness is your strength. Their dismissal is your secret weapon. The truth is, the underestimation game isn't played on their terms, it's played on yours. There's a certain beauty in duality, in being one thing on the surface while harboring something entirely different underneath. The ability to exist in two states at once is a kind of power that many fail to understand. People like things to be simple, easy to define. They want to put you in a neat little category and believe that's all there is to you. But when you embody duality, you're never just one thing. You're a paradox, a mystery, and that makes you unpredictable. Blending in isn't about hiding, it's about strategy. When you appear harmless, no one sees you coming. When you let them believe you're ordinary, they never prepare for the extraordinary. It's a delicate art, playing the part so convincingly that they lower their guard completely. Meanwhile, inside, you're always calculating, always preparing, always ready for the moment when you need to strike. Being underestimated gives you control over perception. It allows you to navigate the world on your terms. You can walk into a room and observe without being noticed, gather information without being questioned, and make your moves without interference. It's not deception, it's intelligence. You know when to show your cards and when to keep them close to your chest. What makes duality powerful is the balance it demands. You must be strong enough to hold back, but wise enough to know when to unleash what lies beneath. It's not about denying who you are, it's about mastering it. It's the ability to adapt, to wear the mask when necessary, and to take it off when the time is right. It's understanding that the world isn't always ready for the wolf, so you show them the sheep until it suits you otherwise. There comes a moment in every journey where the disguise is no longer necessary, where holding back serves no purpose, and the time arrives to reveal the truth. This moment is not random. It's the culmination of everything you've endured, every doubt they've cast upon you, and every silent preparation you've made. It's the breaking point, not for you, but for them, for those who thought they knew you, who believed they had you figured out, and who were foolish enough to think they could define your limits. The breaking point is a revelation, a transformation. It's not something you plan for the sake of drama, it's something that happens because the circumstances demand it. All the years of being overlooked, all the moments of swallowing their underestimation, build up to this one instant where the mask falls away and your true power stands bare. This isn't just a reveal, it's a reckoning. The world pauses as they scramble to reconcile their outdated perception of you with the reality that's now staring them in the face. In that moment, everything changes. Their laughter fades, replaced by shock and a dawning sense of fear. The power dynamic shifts so completely that you feel it in the air. They don't know whether to run, apologize, or fall silent. That's the beauty of the breaking point. It doesn't just set you free, it holds a mirror to their arrogance, forcing them to confront the limits of their own judgment. This is where you realize that their underestimation was never a reflection of you, but of their own inability to see beyond the surface. And as you rise, unapologetic and unrestrained, you understand the strength it took to wait for this moment, and the precision it takes to seize it fully. True power doesn't grow in the spotlight, it thrives in the shadows. It's in the quiet places, away from prying eyes and judgmental stares, where strength is cultivated. The world is loud, full of people eager to announce their every move, their every thought. But real power doesn't need to announce itself. It waits. It learns. It evolves. In the shadows, there is freedom to make mistakes without scrutiny, to plan without interference, and to grow without limits. When you operate in silence, you become an enigma. People only see what you allow them to see, and that gives you control. They underestimate you because they don't have the full picture. They don't see the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the relentless work you've put in when no one was watching. What they see is the calm exterior, the unassuming presence, and they assume there's nothing more. But beneath the surface, you're building something they can't even fathom. In the shadows, there's clarity. You're not distracted by the noise of the world or the expectations others try to place on you. You focus on what matters, honing your skills, sharpening your instincts, and preparing for the moment when you'll step into the light. Operating from the shadows is not about fear or hiding, it's about understanding timing. It's about knowing that every move you make has a purpose, that every step you take is leading to something greater. The world doesn't expect strength to come from silence. They equate noise with power, visibility with importance. But the strongest storms are often the ones that gather quietly, unnoticed, until they're ready to unleash their full force. And when that moment comes, everything changes. The journey from being overlooked to commanding respect is one of the most satisfying transformations anyone can experience. It's not something that happens overnight, nor is it handed to you. It's earned, forged through trials, setbacks, and moments when it would have been easier to give up. But every step along the way, every time you push through doubt and disbelief, you are crafting something extraordinary. At first, they don't notice. Your progress is invisible to them because they're too caught up in their assumptions. They've boxed you in, convinced themselves that you'll never rise above their expectations. They don't see the work you're putting in behind the scenes, the way you're chipping away at your weaknesses and sharpening your strengths. They don't realize that every moment of underestimation is fuel for your fire. The transformation isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about stepping into your potential and becoming the person you always knew you could be. It's about silencing the voice of doubt in your own mind and replacing it with unshakable confidence. As you grow, you begin to feel the shift. Your presence becomes more commanding, your voice more certain. The world starts to notice. And those who once dismissed you begin to question their assumptions. What makes this transformation so powerful is that it's rooted in authenticity. You didn't change to please others or to fit into their mold. You became more of who you were meant to be. And that's what commands respect. The journey was never about seeking their approval, it was about stepping into your truth. And now, as you stand tall, the transformation speaks for itself. And when that moment comes, oh, it's glorious. The tables turn. The room falls silent. And the ones who doubted you, who dismissed you, who thought you were nothing, they finally see the predator standing before them. Their arrogance crumbles, and in its place, awe grows. That's your moment. So to everyone who has ever been underestimated, mislabeled, or ignored, remember this: there's no need to roar every time you enter a room. The wolf waits, watches, and bides its time. Because when the time is right, one strike is all it takes. Let them think you're nothing but a sheep. Because when the wolf shows its true face, the whole world will tremble. Your moment is coming.